Happy Monday, fight fans. Welcome back to the Dazn Boxing Show. I go by the name of Ak.
And I'm Barack the Boxing Bully.
Nice of you to join us. So much to talk about, particularly two welterweight showdowns. One happened across the pond with Conor Benn, and one in Arlington, Texas, with 40,000 people in attendance watching Errol Spence Jr. defeat Dennis Ugas. Let's start with that one on the opening bell. I was impressed for many reasons in San Antonio. I was impressed with Dennis Ugas. He was a warrior in the pocket with one of the most devastating fighters in boxing today. Before we even get into the X's and O's and what I felt Errol Spence did so well in the ring, first off, let's applaud him for bringing close to 40,000 people out to Cowboy Stadium in Texas. This is a young man that is soft-spoken. He doesn't do a lot of talking outside the ring. He doesn't scream for the limelight. And he doesn't care about being popular. He wants to be the best fighter in the world. And people come out. That was enough for people to come out to watch Errol Spence Jr. A lot of people are talking about round number 6, Barack, when he was hurt, when his mouthpiece fell out of his mouth. Yes, Dennis landed some big shots, and he stunned Errol Spence Jr. But what he did after that, in the next round, how he came forward, how he came to attack with no stopping in him. I mean, he is a machine, destruction. That's all I see with Errol Spence Jr. Kudos to him. People are questioning, is it the same Errol Spence? Man, it's even a better Errol Spence. He can fight in different ways. He showed it on Saturday night, Barack. What a performance.
I agree. Congratulations to Errol Spence. You said that he doesn't scream for the limelight, but apparently it seems like the limelight screams for him. Wonderful fight. The best are fighting the best, and we have one fight left in that division. But let's talk about what happened Saturday night. Now, okay, you mentioned the sixth round. The sixth round is when Ugas threw a right uppercut and the mouthpiece flew out of Errol Spence's mouth. Now, that was a strange moment because it was almost like a lapse of focus for Errol Spence. Some people thought maybe he got dazed. I was thinking it's possible he got dazed for him to have that moment where he actually followed the mouthpiece with his eyes and then walked in the direction, not protecting himself to retrieve that mouthpiece. I don't ever see that happening, especially at this level. So maybe he was dazed, maybe not. Maybe, like what he said, it was just a loss of focus. It was a rookie mistake. It's just strange coming from Spence. Now, that wasn't the only problem there. The problem also, which I hate to have to mention, is Lawrence Cole, the referee, the third man in the ring. He made a mistake. He caused some of that confusion. Yes, it was Errol Spence that initiated it, and even right after the mouthpiece flew out of Errol Spence's mouth, Dennis Ugas tried to throw 2 punches, which kind of grazed his arms, but then when Errol Spence turned away and then turned back to Dennis Ugas, in between that time, before those 2 big punches landed that propelled Spence back, Lawrence Cole, the referee, yelled stop twice. So afterwards, when Spence was talking about it and said, I thought the referee yelled stop, he did. So after he yelled stop, the referee, Dennis Ugas landed a jab and a strong straight right that hit Spence directly on the chin, propelled him back. Now, people are saying that was supposed to be ruled a knockdown. Now, sometimes I don't like talking about that because if that fighter loses and that knockdown means nothing, then it just would have gave Spence more time to recover.
Now, Barack, before this fight, we couldn't look past Ugas. Obviously, we know he was a credible opponent, a guy that was a world champion and just had beaten Manny Pacquiao. But most fight fans were looking past this moment. And for years, we've been wanting to see this particular fight. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. He took to social media right away and threw some shots at Errol. Errol fired back. These guys are ready to meet. They don't want to fight anybody else but each other. And there are rumors out there that the fight will happen this year. I'm excited about it. Barack, I believe it will happen.
I believe as well. I don't know if it's going to happen first. I always thought that Spence would fight Thurman. That's what I always thought. But if you're seeing Spence mention Crawford like that, then I believe the conversation is already had with Al Heyman, and he's like, okay, I'm in talks with Bud, so you can start mentioning him now. I'm just feeling that way, but you never really know. I would never bet my money on that, you know. But yes, a lot of people was overlooking Ugas, even though Ugas won that first round. He made Spence miss about 50, 60 shots, you know, showing that he can box with Errol Spence. But as usual, like a Triple G, Errol Spence just walked him down and showed him that my punches are different.
Barack, here's Terrence Crawford tweet. He says, congratulations, great fight. Now the real fight happens. No more talk, no more side of the street. Let's go. Keep my belts warm. I'll be coming to grab him later this year. That's Terrence Crawford to Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence responds with say less, meaning enough said, we're gonna do it, no more talk. So this Barack is such an amazing matchup. Obviously, Crawford is no Ugas. He makes adjustments in that ring. He fights from both stance. He is an aggressive fighter, just as Errol Spence is. So this is what fight fans, look forward to in boxing. This is a dream fight, so we all hope that it actually happens. Across the pond, a young man that has had a chip on his shoulder his whole career and continues to prove to the people that he is a force to be reckoned with in the welterweight division. And I'm talking about Conor Benn, destroying Van Heerden in round number 2. It took him a round or so just to make the adjustments, to find the proper distance, and to clock him with that right hand, same one that knocked out our guy Chris Algieri. I was impressed with Conor Benn. I mean, he fought a tall southpaw, very tall. It wasn't easy to get close to him to get that distance in order to land that right hand that hurt him. Initially, it led to that onslaught to finish the fight. But he is owning up to that aggressive style. That's his style. He brings it out every time in the ring. It's fan-friendly. People love it. Kudos to Conor Benn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I understand that Conor Benn seems emotional outside the ring. He seems like the most angriest man on the planet. There used to be a character on Martin, that TV show by the name of Angry Man. You know, yes, it seems like Conor Benn is that guy, but in the ring, it's kind of like he reminded me of Mike Tyson. That aggression was channeled properly. Yes, he seemed a little sloppy because he was going for throwing haymakers every single shot just about. But he was able to walk him down methodically. You know, he was able to land the shots that he needed to land. So that particular style suits Conor Benn, especially with fighters like that who can't really hold him off with the jab and doesn't take control of the distance. You know, shout out and respect to Chris Van Heerden. He's had a good career. I think he won an IBO strap years ago. He was in there with Errol Spence. He was in there with great guys. He has the experience. But man, this seems to be the time that we have to welcome in a new guy to the division who's just about on the cusp of a welterweight title shot. Now, yes, we see that the two guys who have those titles are monsters, and we want to see them first. But Conor Benn is right there, and he needs to get a big name in that next fight.
I agree with you, Barack, and I'm glad what you pointed out. You know, a lot of people have so much to say about styles nowadays. Oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. Listen, Conor Benn is mastering that art, and Mike Tyson was the same fighter I was thinking as I'm watching him. Methodically, his objective is to hurt you in that ring with a big shot. It might take him a couple of rounds. He might miss a few shots, but at some point, he's going to gain the proper distance to land that shot. And it appears that he has some power, a very good power, that will probably hurt any welterweight should he land a big shot. So the names that they threw out there, the names that Eddie Hearn threw out there, the names that he threw out there, I like those names, whether it's Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner. One of those names, even Alexis Rocha, they didn't name his, they didn't call his name out, but that's a guy that we've been talking about recently that has been calling him out, who's a real proper threat in my opinion. But I want to see him against those big welterweights out there that were champion at one point, and they're right there underneath. Conor Benn needs that big fight. He's been asking for it. Let's give it to him. He's earned it.
For more info on both of those fights in the welterweight division, go to our guys at Dazn News. They got you covered on that and all things boxing.